This morning, Sean and RJ and Bobby were talking about quarterbacks and defense and all sorts of things regarding football. And Bobby asked the question, and it wasn't exactly, but along the lines of, to Choppy, do you think that they're going really heavy on defense because they think that gives them the best chance to win? And I went to look, by the way, go look at 2010. That's the Super Bowl for the Green Bay Packers.
Okay.
Go look at their defense that year. That year and the year before, they were Mike McCarthy's team. I think they were 5-2. Like they were number 5 or number 2 overall defense.
Oh, wow.
They were, as far as takeaways, they were fantastic as well. They were a very good scoring defense where you weren't scoring a lot of points against them that year.
Okay.
And as good as Aaron Rodgers was, that's the best defense he had was his Super Bowl year.
Yeah.
So as good as Aaron Rodgers was throughout his entire career, the best defense he has, he wins the Super Bowl.
That makes sense.
Strong quarterback, defense.
Yeah.
Those are the two things I think are important. I also found out you have to have a top 10 scoring defense to win a Super Bowl or have Patrick Mahomes. Here's
Hold
why.
on. What?
Yes. I looked in the last 10 years of winning a Super Bowl when it comes to scoring defenses. Let's go back to 2012. That'll put us about 10 years away, Kevin.
Okay.
The Baltimore Ravens were number 9. Now, this is what's interesting to me. They gave up 21.1 points a game. Seems like a lot.
Yeah.
But they're number 9.
With this way the NFL's changed and everything, yeah.
Seattle, number 1, 14.6 points a game. The next year, New England, 7th. 19.5 points per game. The next year, the Broncos, 4th, 17.9 points per game. The next year, the Patriots, 1st, 16.4 points a game. The next year, the Eagles,
gross,
4th, 18 points a game. The next year, the Patriots, 6th, 20 points a game. The next year, the Chiefs, 10.
Okay.
20 points a game. The next year, Tampa Bay with Tom Brady, ranked 7th in scoring defense, 21 points a game. Oh, guess what, Kevin? In 2021, the Rams were 9th, giving up only 21 points a game. So over the last 10 years, the top 10, teams that win the Super Bowl have a top 10 defense, except for last year, when the Chiefs were 18th, giving up 22 points per game. But again, you have to have Patrick Mahomes. That's the only qualifier. And the only other year that it was any lower than 9, it was the Kansas City Chiefs again at 10 in top 10 scoring defenses.
Because they have Patrick Mahomes.
Yes. And so that's where the conversation of, do you need a top 10 defense to win a Super Bowl? I think you do. Just over the last 10 years, that's been proven. And again, go back to the Mike McCarthy time where he's probably looking at himself and going, why did we win that Super Bowl? Oh, because I had a defensive expert coordinating my defense. I had the best talent that I'd ever had on defense.
Yeah.
And we had the best defense that we'd ever had. Plus, we had a really good quarterback at the time. So Aaron Rodgers is going to get all the credit for winning that Super Bowl. That was a team that was built a certain way. And Mike McCarthy is looking at it and saying, how can I build my team to look something like that? So that's why when it comes to adding, they wanted to bring back as much as they could on defense this year, right? They said, how do we get a little bit better? Let's add Stephon Gilmore. We want to make our defense even better, and let's make sure we don't lose any of these guys that we had last year, because continuity is important too. We think that Dan Quinn has a fantastic system, a fantastic scheme, and he's flexible. He's not one of those guys that's just like, this is my defense, live with it.
And I think I've asked you this before, but don't you think that offensive additions can make the defense better as well? Like if you're more capable of controlling the ball or getting that first down, it's naturally going to help your defense.
And I know that's one of like the Bill Parcells, commandments was play to your team's strengths. And your team's strengths, let's say your offensive strength is passing, then play to your team's strengths. We're going to air it out today. Well, when it comes to the Cowboys defense, or the Cowboys defense, that's something that Dak needs to look at is, how do I play to my team's strength? Not just my offensive strength, but my team's strength. My team's strength is defense. So when you're a quarterback, you can make decisions based on, do I think my defense can make a stop if this happens? Yeah, I do. And I think that is, that was one of the reasons there was a lot of freedom when Dak Prescott was throwing the ball. Look, if you get an interception, it might not hurt us that bad.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it did against Jacksonville. But like that, they're thinking our defense can handle some of these things. But I think to play the best Cowboys football they can, they're going to have to ensure that Dak Prescott, when we talk about running the football, short passing game, using clock, those are the things that the Cowboys want to do because they believe their defense can get them the stops whenever they need to. They just want to wear an opponent out. So that's where now the question is, do you think that McCarthy's leaning heavy on defense is the right approach or the wrong approach?
I think it's the right approach.
Because of the information that I've given you, or because you already thought that? Because I know there are people out there that are like, no, you got to air it out like Mahomes. Again, you do not have Patrick Mahomes.
I think I already kind of felt that way, and the information you gave just hammers home with that idea. Honestly, I just think it's more likely that you could have a top 5 defense than a top 5 quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you tell me what's going to happen. Dak will be top 5 quarterback next year, or our defense will be top 5. I'm going to say our defense will be top 5. Not to say that the other couldn't happen, but I just think it would be more likely that our defense would be top 5. And so I like the idea that you're leaning more and more on that, because I do think that Dak is perfectly capable of being part of the team that gets you to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and somebody said, what was the rank of the defenses of the losers compared to the winner? I don't have that information, but I do believe, Kevin, I've done something similar to this before, and in the past 10 years, it's been like top 15 defense on every single one of them. Very, very few times were those defenses ranked down in the 20s and 30s. Now, I will say I think that McCarthy's looking back at his own history and saying, my best team ever, I had a great defense, and we were running offense like this. So he's trying to replicate that one more time. Now it's whether or not Dak Prescott can lead that offense to being what it needs to be whenever it needs to be the most. That's what we got to find out from Dak. And so far, haven't gotten there. But this defense, I think they're going to continue adding to it.
All right. What an intriguing hypothesis. I enjoyed that edition of the C Block.